Everybody. Thank you again for tuning in to Rebecca with Red True Crime. Hello. All right. So those of you who follow me are new. Actually, those of you who are new to following me, let me fix this camera. Just a bit. There we go. Um, Subscribe because if you're new and you've not seen me before, it is time to subscribe. And it's free. Doesn't cost anything, and all it does is just help further the algorithm for about the true crime cases that I cover. So there we go. Okay, so where to begin tonight? Um, Cases that this is highlights depending on which streaming service that you are following me. So we're gonna talk about three. We're gonna talk about the Carmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf case. We're gonna talk about the Amber Shelton case, and we're going to talk about the TK Burton case. So And again, I am streaming on 3 platforms, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, send me stars. That's how you support me. If you are on YouTube, send me likes, comments, shares, all that good stuff, and subscribe. And if you're on TikTok, just start following me and start sending me whatever it is on TikTok to help further my platform. So let's see. All right. So back to what I was going to talk about. Amber Shelton. Let's start there. So she was a missing woman that went missing December 9th, 2024 in Greensboro, North Carolina, and her remains were found in March of this year. Greensboro PD swears up and down that she self-harmed herself, and that is why she is no longer alive. I don't believe that. Her family does not believe that. And anybody with half a brain does not believe that. But Greensboro PD is just not doing anything to dispute that fact at all. And I don't know why. Because there's no way on earth that a woman leaves everything behind, goes and hurts herself, and the weapon that is used to do that is just laying there out in the open for 3 months, and nobody comes across it. I don't believe that. So, yeah, anybody with half a brain, like I said, already knows that she did not hurt herself. And, where she was found, her remains were found in a Greensboro Arboretum, which is a pretty heavily, visited place, and there's no way on earth that happened. Just no way at all. So, there you have it. Alright, let's get on to TK Burton. TK Burton, was a man who went missing in July of last year. His remains was found in September, and they arrested so far 4 people. 2 of them are out on bail, 2 are still in Randolph County Jail. One has a massive bond of, like, $500,000, and the other one was denied bond because of the heinousness of the crime. No one has been able to explain why this happened. What was the motive? Why did he feel the need to end his friend's life? Because Jacob Hill has been charged with first-degree murder, and he's not given any reason as to why he ended his friend's life. Some say his best friend, but no answer, no conclusion has been given on that. But they go back to court June 9th. So we'll find out what they say at that point, what the next step is. But I think it's going to be just more preliminary things because, I mean, I think it'll probably be another year before they actually do a trial. And if Jacob Hill pleads, we may never know the reasoning why he did what he did, as if he even knows. I don't know. It's a sad case because Caleb Teal is out on bond. He is the half brother to Jacob Hill. Bo Benjamin Martin is the other person who is in jail right now with Shane Hill. I'm sorry, Jacob Hill. And Bo Benjamin Martin's been charged with accessory after the fact. It was his land where TK Burton was found. Caleb Teal is also being charged with accessory after the fact. And there's a fourth man whose name escapes me right now. He's being charged with accessory after the fact. And he's also made bond and he's out roaming free. So, just so his family knows, I have not forgotten about him, and I will continue to talk about his case once there's something to really talk about, other than the fact that they're going back to court, all four of them June 9th. Let's see. And now the one that everyone's talking about that's hot on off the press right now. Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. So if you've been living under a rock, you may not if you don't know what I'm talking about on this case. A week ago, there was a high school track meet, multiple schools, all in Frisco, Texas. Kids were competing in track and field events. 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony went under the tent of Memorial High School. And the students at Memorial High School, one student in particular, said, "Hey, you don't go to school here, go away." And it escalated from there. It escalated to the point where Carmelo Anthony took a knife out of his backpack and stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart, and he died almost instantaneously. So there you have it. There's the bare bones of the case. So how can I go further with this? There's been a lot of misinformation put out there. A lot. A lot of harassing information put out there. A lot. Somebody leaked the address to Carmelo Anthony's family home, and those people have been getting death threats and whatnot, which is awful. They don't deserve that. Um, there was a couple of GoFundMe's that were created for Carmelo Anthony to help with his defense fund, and those have been taken down on the premise because GoFundMe said they don't allow fundraisers for people being accused of violent crimes. Okay, if that's your policy, I get that. But there's a lot of people out there saying that he does not deserve any money for his defense fund, and therefore everything should be taken down. We live in a country where we have amendments, rights to all citizens. And when you go to court, you are presumed innocent until you're proven guilty. Now that I've said that, Carmelo Anthony has admitted stabbing Austin Metcalf. He is claiming self defense. He is claiming that he was bullied by this boy. I don't know. I wasn't there, and slowly over the last couple of days, statements have been coming out that the police took from the witnesses and they have been releasing them to the public. I'm not gonna read them word for word, but I'm gonna give you the general consensus of what these statements have said. Because there's statements from the police officers of what, Carmelo Anthony has admitted to them. There are statements that they've included of about 75 different students or 75 different people who were there on that track. So the idea is Carmelo Anthony went under that tent when he wasn't supposed to. The kid, Austin Metcalf, was like, "Go away." Carmelo Anthony said, "Don't touch me." Now, at this point, from what I understand, Austin Metcalf had not touched him yet. More words back and forth, and Carmelo said, "Touch me and see what happens." But they said even before he made that threat, he'd already been rustling around, in a backpack looking for something. So, being 17, being a guy, being a teenager, being immature, you're given a challenge of touch me and see what happens. Guess what he did? He touched him, and Carmelo stabbed him in the heart. And unfortunately, His twin brother Hunter was there with him when he died. It's sad, it's traumatic. Um, Police gave in their reports that they spoke to Hunter and Hunter Metcalf, and Hunter was beside himself, which I understand. I understand that. Oh, thank you, Marie. Um, all I can say is this: those in America, those in the country, those in the world that are commenting on this case with pure vitriol hate, uh, support for Austin Metcalf, support for Carmelo Anthony, people saying horrible, horrific things about Austin Metcalf. None of it can be proven. They just need to stop because unless you were physically there and saw what went down, you have to stop. Every person in this country has the right to a defense. Everyone does. When you go to court, when you're accused of something, everyone has a right. So, like I said, GoFundMe taking his donation thing down, that's their rule, that's their policy, fine. Can't argue that. But no one should say that boy does not deserve to raise money for a defense. I mean, he has a right to raise a defense because there's more to this than meets the eye, based off what I've read. And like I said, the school resource officer is the one who cuffed Carmelo Anthony. He was the one on site and he cuffed him at that point. He said to the boy, or he said to the other officer who showed up, he said, "This is the alleged stabber." Carmelo is quoted in saying, "I'm not alleged. I actually did this. I did it." So he admitted it right then and there. As he's getting put into the police cruiser, he says to another officer, "Can I claim this as defense, self-defense?" Officer said, "I don't know, was not trying to engage with him too much." And then this is the thing that got me thinking. Carmelo asked, "Is he going to be okay?" Meaning Austin Metcalf. Is he going to be okay? That does not give me the look of someone who is a crazy killer. And it's been made clear by the families and by other people who knew both of these kids. These boys did not know each other until that moment. They had not met until that point. There's a lot of fake photos out there. There's a lot of fake statements coming from the Frisco um, chief of police. No, ignore all these things. What I've given you is what they have released. I have refrained to giving my opinion on this simply because I am a Caucasian white woman, and to comment on a case where a black child stabbed a white child can be inflammatory if I were to give an opinion that most people don't agree with. So I'm going to go against my own policy. I'm going to give you what I think happened. And I might lose some people over this. I might get some hate mail over this, but it is what it is. Here's what I think. I think you've got two testosterone filled teenage boys who were doing a standoff. And I think Carmelo probably pulled the knife out to scare him, and it went too far. I don't think there's any intent in this whatsoever. I don't think he intended to kill anybody. I don't think he intended to even really stab this kid. I think he pulled the knife out to scare him. And now, unfortunately, he went one step too far, and Austin Metcalf is no longer present on this earth. I think by him asking that question, is he going to be okay? Told me everything there is about that boy's character. I don't think he's a bad kid. I don't think he's an angel. I don't think any 17-year-old boy is an angel. But I do believe he is human, and I do believe he made a mistake. He made a choice, a bad choice, and that's what happened. So, I don't think he needs the death penalty. I don't think his family needs to be threatened. I don't think any of that needs to happen because those people did the best they could with that kid, and at the end of the day, he made a choice. He made a choice. They didn't force him to make a choice. They didn't raise him to make certain choices. He made the choice on his own, and that is all we can talk about at this point. I'm sure there's video out there. I'm sure there's more statements to come out. And when those come out, more judgment can be made at that point. But I think we all need to refrain from judging anything until this goes to court, until this goes to trial, and the evidence is presented at that point. Those are my thoughts. I would love to hear any of your all's thoughts. And what is that? So apparently, I'm supposed to get you guys to send me a rose during my live. So let's see if I can get three of those. All right. So anybody want to give me an opinion or a thought or anything about this case? I would love to hear it. Let me know because that's just my thought. Like I said, I know it's not the most popular opinion, but I don't think this kid needs. I just wish it wasn't in Texas. My God, those people love to just execute people and give them life sentences. Nothing against Texas. I've never been there. Company I work for is based out of Texas, but still, this could not. I hate to see this case turn into another George Floyd, Breonna Taylor mass issue because I know it's trying people are trying to make this political and I it doesn't need to be political. Like I said, this boy, this young man made a choice and it was a bad choice. And I think he just got hyped up and it just went too far. I think he was trying to scare the kid and it just went too far, you know? Excuse me. Um yeah, but that's my opinion on that. Alrighty. So I will have a new live coming up. Um, I'm going to be going to the scene of the crime for Caleb Maynard, man who was killed January 28th, 2023. I'll be going more into that case because the cops seem to know who did it, but they just can't prove it. But again, any other questions, concerns, comments, please let me know. Share this, like this, subscribe to this, send roses and flowers and stars and all that good stuff because apparently that makes things work better with these channels. Um, Monday, I will be releasing a new Mobster Monday episode that will be on um, Arthur Rothstein, Arnold Rothstein, gangster from the 1920s. Kind of ran stuff before Al Capone and Lucky Luciano. And tomorrow, my next Thursday's child that will be released will be on Walter Collins. If you have no idea who Walter Collins is, I suggest you rent or look up the movie The Changeling with Angelina Jolie. It does give a pretty good comprehensive overview of that case. And that one with that Thursday's child, that's going to bring into an actual serial killer from that time frame that does not get talked about. So the chicken coop killers, or Wineville chicken coop killers. Like this case was so notorious, the city of Wineville renamed itself. And I can't think of off the top of my head what that they changed it to, but when I go and do the thing tomorrow, you will find out. Okay. Well, I am going to end this live now. As I always say, be weird, be rude, be safe, because if you're weird and rude, nobody will take you. Nobody. I guarantee it. And also, let's see. Oh, yeah, subscribe, share, like, comment, and all that good stuff, and, don't be mean to people 'cause, it's just not cool, and, just be nice, and keep your eyes and ears open at all times. So Goodbye, everyone. Thank you again for tuning in. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime. I am out. Bye bye.